I'm gonna kill somebody. I'll become Michael Myers. And you all will swarm me with your cars and your weapons. And I will convincingly kill all of you with cool fucking music playing in the background. That's what I'm gonna fucking do.
Yeah, I'll bring it by in like 20 minutes or so. Just enough time for me to get there. Yep, sounds good. I'll see you later. What the fuck? What the fuck? Get the fuck off me!
Slime gave me your mission for the day.
I thought you were supposed to be dead. Didn't you blow up or something?
Well, I did, but they replaced my body already. They're working on Obsidius and Muerto also.
Why are you here?
Slime told me to give you your mission specs for the day.
And he couldn't tell me himself?
He's still a little mad at you for losing last time. So Jack killed somebody at the lake last night, and I guess he's here today. Your mission is obviously, cut his head off, bring his head back to us. We can make an evil clone. The fucking works, This is Slime's words, not mine. Don't get mad. But he said if you do not succeed and you do not kill him, let's see, you are grounded. You're getting a spanking. You don't get to go clubbing tomorrow. You only get to eat beans for supper. You have to eat beans, actually, is what he said. Broccoli, not steamed, no cheese. You have to sleep on a box spring, no TV, your phone's getting taken away, and you're gonna have to start wearing fucking briefs.
I get it.
I have more.
Whatever. Fuck you. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Test. Welcome to a very special Halloween edition of Dante's Drive-In. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a lot of movies that I watched over a long period of time. You might have noticed, it's like, hey, it's been a while since you've seen a Dante's Drive-In episode. Well, the reason is because I'm fucking lazy. That's the reason. So you're going to be getting movies from September and movies from October. I was going to talk about a bunch of other movies that I did see in that time period, because I saw Pig, I saw The Green Knight, I saw The Suicide Squad, I saw Shang-Chi, I saw No Time to Die. Problem is that none of those are horror films, and I think this channel should remain strictly spooky. I wish I had some voodoo for this occasion. I've got a leftover Baja Blast from the summer, so that's not very festive, but I do have Dot's Ghosts. You have to have these. And I got this big ass fucking one of these buckets of various popcorns and stuff. It doesn't get much more Halloween than one of these guys, let me tell you what. Got a hot cocoa and an adorable little Disney Halloween mug, So we're gonna get festive, okay? There's gonna be some fun Halloween stuff to be had. But the first movie we're gonna get into, because it's the one that I saw the longest time ago, is The Empty Man. The Empty Man was a movie that was strictly just word of mouth reached me. Word of mouth through the internet, that is. Nobody in my actual life. So it was like,
hey man, you seen The Empty Man? It's pretty good.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. But I went and out of my way and checked it out because it was on HBO Max. And it's also on like a bunch of other streaming services now. And so there's really no reason you shouldn't be watching The Empty Man already. However, is it any good? What does Dante Graves think about The Empty Man? I thought The Empty Man was a lot of fun. I didn't love the ending, because it's one of those endings. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. I don't like those kind of endings. With that being said, I thought the ending was done pretty well. What I did like about the movie was everything else, because this movie just keeps you guessing. It starts as one thing, It becomes another thing. Then it becomes another thing. Then it's like, oh no, we're not doing all those things. We're doing this thing. Like, ha, just fucking with you. We're actually doing this thing. Then it's something else. And then by the end of the movie, it's a completely different thing. And you're like, oh, well, all those things made sense now, having seen the full movie, why they were in here. What I mean by that is, it's a slasher movie, it's a monster movie, it's a mystery, it's a creature feature, it's a conspiracy movie, it's sci-fi horror, it's cosmic horror, it's fucking it's a cult movie. I mean, it's like everything. It's got everything. It really does mimic so well so many different subgenres of horror, and it bounces around that you can't really get a read on what it's actually going to be. And then once it does show its full hand, it's still pretty entertaining. I don't have much to say about it other than that, and I don't want to give too much away. If you would like to see somebody really break this movie down on a lot of different levels, there's a million of other better videos out there. Chris Stuckman is who I heard from it from, and I'm now telling you about it. So you should watch it. That's the shittiest review ever. Moving on! We got Don't Breathe 2. Fuck. I did not want to see this movie. Let me tell you that right now. Don't Breathe 1, I thought was awesome when it first came out. I've watched it a couple times since then, and both times it's been pretty entertaining. So I'd say Don't Breathe 1, check it out. I like that movie. Don't Breathe 2 was on its way, and I'm like,
fuck me, what? I don't wanna.
And I'm not even the type, I like sequels. As a general rule, I think it's really fun to pick up after a story has ended with a new story, with returning characters that we want to see come back. Let's see where they are, what's changed, what can we improve upon, what can we borrow from, like what can we expound upon. Like just comparing and contrasting and seeing what a different filmmaker might do with it, or what a continuing filmmaker, how they might have evolved. I love the idea of sequels. So I'm not an anti-sequel guy. But if there's one movie I really did not think needed a sequel, it was Don't Breathe. After having seen Don't Breathe 2, I think I was unaware of what they had in mind, so I was like, no, you don't need a sequel. Having seen the movie, I think the idea of it having a sequel is a bit, while maybe a bit contrived, I really did enjoy this film. And there really wasn't anything negative to say about it. I guess, for full disclosure, the reason I didn't want to see the movie was because the trailer really started to make it seem like they're gonna treat the blind man from the first Don't Breathe movie as like this fucking badass, like cool guy.
He's sick. He's like John Wick, but he's blind.
And I'm like, that's just stupid. This guy's a rapist. This character is a fucking rapist. Then I started to talk to one of my other horror movie buddies, and they're like, well, you like Devil's Rejects.
It's like one of your fucking favorite movies, and all those characters are rapists, and they're treated like cool and stuff.
I'm like, yeah, but like, they're still being framed as the villains. They're not like, oh, the Devil's Rejects are badasses. You want to be them. They're coming for you, bad guys. It's like they were still killing like innocent people. So I was more just kind of like, ugh, the idea of like a shitty person fighting even shittier people, that does not sound appealing to me. Once you actually see it, the movie's like, okay, we're not trying to be deep. We're not trying to be profound. We're not pretentious in any way. We understand what you're here for, which I didn't even know what I was there for. But the movie knew what I wanted, apparently, because they gave me some fucking rad-ass kills. They gave me some genuinely, really unsettling plot developments, which I'm going to keep under wraps for the purpose of this video. The dude playing the blind man, I know if I thought really hard, I could probably come up with his name, but he's phenomenal in this movie. And the direction they took that character in was perfect. And now I have 2 Don't Breathe movies that I can watch and enjoy both. I was also scared shitless because Fede Alvarez, I actually think, is a very competent horror filmmaker, and this movie had a different director. And it was the same director that was doing the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. And I was like, oh my god, I'm just so nervous that this is like a gun for hire. Like, they're like, okay, we want a Don't Breathe sequel. Fede Alvarez is like, I don't want anything to do with it. So they just found some motherfucking asshole. No. This guy knows his shit. There's an awesome fight scene in a basement. Like I said, there's some great kills in the movie. It reminded me a lot of the video game Manhunt, and that's all I'm gonna say. There's no snuff angle in the movie, but like the idea of badass motherfucker who's also just a complete irredeemable piece of garbage versus other fucking sickening psychopaths. But everyone is all sickening and gross, but this guy's just more fucking badass than they are. That was kind of cool. And I also did like the little girl character and the direction they went with her character. And the final sequence of this movie, they keep coming up with very interesting set pieces, because like the first movie, he's in the house and it's like he shuts the lights off. It's like, fuck, this is his house, you know, oh, we're screwed. And then the second one, I was like, well, how are they going to continue to make him imposing if he's fucking blind and he's like out of his element, and like he's like going into like this shitty apartment building to fight all these guys with guns and stuff? That just doesn't make any sense. They kept finding ways to continue to make him competent and also a threat to these other characters, even without that setting. So that was kind of cool. And I mean, if I dug deep enough, I could probably find something fucking negative to say about it, but I don't want to do that, because the movie went above and beyond what I thought it was going to do, and I was really entertained by it. Especially when I was going in basically just like, fuck this movie, I'm gonna hate this movie, this movie's stupid, it shouldn't even exist. So the fact that it like was able to be like, wow, I want to rewatch that, actually, that was a lot of fun, and I will be rewatching it at some point. I super recommend it, especially with friends. This is a great friend get-together movie. Talk over it, look up when something cool happens, go back to talking. I understand that some fucking real critic will be like,
That's not actual cinema. It's just garbage junk food cinema.
like, look, motherfucker, this is Dante's Drive-In. This is my show. When you have stick-up-your-ass movie critic drive-in, then you can talk about fucking the Oscars. I don't care. You can talk about fucking, you know, La Petite Amour, a film by Jean Mercure or some shit. I don't know. I just made that movie up, but it sounds like a movie that if it came out, some fucking hoity-toity critic would love. Next movie is going to be Malignant. As you can tell, I'm blowing through these because I have a cut inside my mouth from getting punched in the face recently, and I have a sore on my tongue that's just a sugar sore because I ate too much junk. It's really fucking with my speech, and there's one movie I really want to talk about. I think you know which one it is, and so I'm just kind of breezing through these, but I hope you guys are enjoying these more kind of light reviews. When I do my next drive-in episode, I'll try to be more fucking long-winded and airy about whatever the fuck I say. So Malignant was awesome. If you haven't seen it, which there's a lot of people that I can tell have not seen this movie. I'm going up and talking to them like,
Hey man, did you catch Malignant?
and they're like,
I skipped that one. Is it okay? Is it good? I don't know. It just didn't look that interesting to me.
I'm a big James Wan stan. I love Insidious, I love Saw, I love The Conjuring, I love The Conjuring 2. I really enjoy the Insidious sequels. I think Aquaman is awesome, and I think that the Fast and the Furious 7 was one of the better sequels in that series. I like the Fast and Furious movies, as you saw from previous drive-ins, but he did a really good job. I think he's just a astoundingly good commercial filmmaker. Malignant, I was very interested in seeing, obviously, because it's James Wan's return to horror. I had no idea, though, that this is what he was going to do. This is one of the most shockingly original horror films in forever. No, it's not original in the sense that it's a genre redefining masterpiece, but I'm talking about in terms of its villain. I really hope takes off as a great horror icon. I thought he was fucking awesome. I'm not going to say too much about him because if you've seen the movie, you know how fucking awesome he is if you don't know anything about going into it. And I can also tell you that rewatching this movie is even more fun, especially with other people, because unlike movies that build and build and build for some payoff, this movie builds to a payoff, and then when you get the payoff, it's even better because you have this fucking awesome set piece at the end of the movie. I can't say anything, but you know the villain. The villain is cool. I love his voice. I love his weapon. I love his style of killing people. I love the way he moves. Just a very, very creative character who I hope becomes like the next huge horror icon. I really hope that. He's got an iconic enough look I think he could be. And really that's what it comes down to with horror icons. They have to have a good look, and they have to have a kind of a memorable gimmick. This is a gimmick we've never seen before, and it's a memorable look, so let's hope. Fingers crossed. He did kind of remind me of the killer from House of Wax, though. The remake of House of Wax. This guy, you know who I'm talking about? Yeah, that guy was cool too, but this guy looked like that kind of. I thought the script, while a lot of people have talked about how like corny it is, it's very obvious to me that was on purpose. While you might not like that kind of like heightened fucking like ultra, we're gonna go 180 miles per hour style of dialogue and stuff, and like just that like very like on the nose, we are in a movie, this is how people in a movie would be talking to one another. Especially like a lot of people are saying like, oh, it's a homage to like Giallo films. I mean, yeah, but like it's mainly just cheesy dialogue. It's like it's cheesy movie dialogue. It's not homaging slasher movies of the 80s. It's just homaging shitty dialogue, which I'm fine with. When I was younger and like more like high school age, dialogue used to really bother me. Like if it was really shitty and corny, I would be bothered by it. But the older I get, I'm just kind of like, whatever, I don't care. You know, as long as the dialogue is funny and I can just be, as long as the dialogue isn't trying to be funny and failing at it, that's like the biggest thing. This isn't trying to be funny, it's just, it is funny because it's trying so hard, and you know that it is. It's like, 'cause the dialogue is just irrelevant to what they're trying to tell you, which is this really crazy story. And the kills were awesome. It's got some great fucking kills. Dope fight scene, music was great. It has a kind of a sampled version of Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. I'm a big Pixies fan, and I noticed that and I thought that was really cool, and especially considering what the twist is, I thought it kind of fit the story. So I liked that a lot. I don't want to say too much about it because it's just great, and like I said, there are other things I want to talk about. I've got 3 other movies to get to. Malignant was dope. Check it out.
Thanks, Reggie. Arco Iris, Sinister Slime. My gun is out of bullets. I've lost my mask. I'm going in hand to hand.
VHS 94. I got 5 minutes on this take, so I'm gonna try and be brief about this. This was my favorite VHS movie. I've loved the first 2. VHS Viral, while it had a couple moments that were kind of cool, was just ultimately a forgettable pile of dog shit. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll feel differently, but fuck, it just, especially from the first 2, that was a massive step down. VHS 94, I think, is the best because out of all of the shorts, there's not a single one that is a dud. Every single one shows you something new and radically different, a new style, a new vision, a new type of scare, a new monster, a new genre of horror, like a new subgenre. I loved all of them. While my favorite one was definitely the like android thing, the one at the end with like the vampires was pretty cool, especially, you know, if you have a vampire running around killing a bunch of fucking, you know, Proud Boys, that's cool, so I can't get mad about that. But also like the Ratman thing, that was epic. The funeral parlor thing, watching it on my giant ass TV in the middle of the night by myself, that was kind of spooky. That was creepy. And a lot of the VHS segments have not scared me in a long time. So I was very entertained by that one. And then you've got the one with the fucking robots. That was just so cool. That was so fucking cool. And also the wraparound story, I've hated in the last 2 movies. This one was the first one that I was like, while this wasn't amazing, I definitely like it a lot better than those first 2, and it's way more serviceable. It's just getting us to the tapes and giving us a little twist at the end, and it kind of tied in with the tapes in an interesting way. So I liked that, but it wasn't like wasting my fucking time. Like the other 2, I was just like, okay, can we get to like the real meat and potatoes of this movie? This one didn't dick around with that, and I liked that a lot. If I had to pick a weakest segment, it would be the last one with the vampire, and that wasn't because it sucked, it's just because the other 3 in here were like so strong. And that one also was like more of a great ending segment. It wasn't supposed to be like the big climax. The VHS movies always kind of have like that, or well, at least VHS 2 did. They had that suicide cult one, and that was way more epic than the actual last one they showed. And they seem to want to do that a lot, where they'll have like a really fucking cool one, and they'll have kind of like a calm down one that's more like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea. Like, but it's not like, whoa, you know, like They saved that wow one, the jaw dropper one, for like the middle kind of. VHS 1 didn't really do that, I guess. They kind of saved it for the end also. But there's a lot of those, all three VHS movies have that one segment that's like very much like a first person going through an obstacle of terrifying things being thrown at you, like a chase scene, fight scene, whatever. And this one was the strongest one of those, other than the Suicide Cult thing. The Suicide Cult is by far and away the best VHS segment we've ever gotten. But this was really strong contender for it. It was very fucking freaky. There's some great gore in it. I think as a triple feature, all three VHS movies, you'd be just knocked silly on your ass if you're a horror fan. It's just like a candy store. You've got werewolves, vampires, aliens, robots, serial killers, slasher villains, ghosts, hauntings, body horror, haunting horror, slasher horror, you know, elements of all these other kind of fucking genres. I just, you know, true crime horror, like, they're all over the place, and I love that. The VHS mythos is so fucking epic if you really look at it as this one big scale, and VHS 94 is just another extremely enjoyable installment in this series. So I super fucking recommend this movie. And don't watch the trailer. I didn't watch the trailer before going into it, and I enjoyed the movie way more, and I watched the trailer after, and I think it shows way too much of the movie. Just saying. So, yeah, let's move on to our next movie. Movie is going to be Candyman 2021. What's very annoying about this movie is it does that fucking title thing. If my mouth didn't hurt, I'd be able to get a lot more angry about it, but my mouth is sore in like 2 different places because of getting fucking punched and stuff. But yeah, they did the thing where it's a direct sequel, like literally a sequel. It's not even a soft reboot. It's just like this is continuing off the old one. And it's just called Candyman. So now I have to say Candyman 2021 every time I'm talking about it in reference to the original Candyman. The original Candyman is obviously a masterpiece. I think it's a perfect horror film, and it's aged like fine wine. And if you haven't seen it, what the fuck are you doing here? Everyone thinks this now. It's a movie that's really been rediscovered by normies, but always held in such high regard by hardcore horror fanatics. So it's a masterpiece. Candyman 2021 is not a masterpiece. While it's not terrible, and there's a lot to like in it. There's some really cool kills. There's some really great gore. Beautiful soundtrack. Cinematography is like stunning. I would even say it's almost better than the cinematography of the first one. And that first one shot really well, okay? And there's some great performances. The biggest issue with this movie, besides the stupid fucking title, is the script. Because if you want to talk about a movie that has very weird pacing, it's this movie. Not because it's boring. I was never bored watching it. But this movie makes a lot of leaps and expects you to fill in the blanks. And it's not an intentional choice. It's one of those movies where a character's like slowly unraveling this big web of like conspiracy and urban legend and mystery that's going to consume their mind and make them freak the fuck out and become psycho or whatever. And there's a lot of movies like that follow that kind of path. You know, White Noise, Number 23, The Empty Man. It's the slow crawl into that position in this movie is like the difference between one scene and the next. Like he went from the main character in this movie is like looking for Candyman, and it felt like within like the span of 1 fucking minute he's all of a sudden like now crazy and obsessed, and everyone's like on edge because he's always like talking about Candyman, and it just had like very weird pacing like that. The movie felt like it was going too fast. It could have been longer, and I would have been fine with that. They were in this mad fucking rush to show me something, and what they ended up showing me, while I didn't hate it, I would have liked it to be kind of just more developed. And the movie has to be super on the nose with its political allegory, which is fine. Anyone that's like mad about this is a fucking idiot, because Candyman has always been an extremely political work, okay? Like intrinsically political. Everything is political to some extent, but Candyman has always been very out there about like race, you know, and poverty and privilege and, you know, classism. Like there's a lot of things it's dealing with. So this isn't a new thing. And it's not that they just, I don't think they did this just because of, like, oh, police, and that's like current. That's always been a problem, and it should be addressed. The way that this movie goes about it, though, like I would have liked it. It's about at like a 6, and it needs to be at a 10. While I enjoyed it, and I'll probably watch it again, and I would say out of all the Candyman movies, it's like probably the second best, just because Candyman 2 and 3 are kind of shitty. And I don't even hate Candyman 2 and 3, but like they're objectively just like massive step down. So this is like automatically there because of just production value alone. The script is just kind of weak. I really like the idea of there being multiple Candymans. That was cool. And also the Candyman that is kind of the one we're seeing most of the movie, I thought was a pretty unsettling idea, especially like specific scenes with him. The scene in the actual basement where the police find him was like really creepy. It was haunting, you know, almost. I wouldn't even say creepy, it was haunting. The scene where he's like looking in the mirror and he's like reflected back at him as Candyman, that was really cool. I love the kind of what they were having to say with the art teacher or the art fucking critic. The fact that there's even an art critic, stupid fucking profession. Literally go die. Candyman does kill her though, and it's awesome. But the like a white art critic criticizing a black artist's work based on their own like weird fucking like this is in and this is hip, and so I as the white critic am gonna tell the black artist, you know, what they should or shouldn't be making. Like that had that was a very relevant point. And I thought it fit right in with a Candyman movie, especially a Candyman movie made in 2021. I just wanted more of it. Especially like that slow crawl that this guy has into being mad. It felt like just like a 0 to 100, and I wanted more of that. In terms of the body horror of the film, while it was very like over the top, like that he wouldn't go to like a doctor or something, I thought it was very unsettling. Body horror is something that really gets to me, so it doesn't take much. But if you're tryptophobic, that ending scene with his fucking skin, I did not like that at all. It was awesome, but oh fuck, it got me. It was unsettling. Like I said, I just wanted more though, and the ending almost seemingly came out of nowhere because it was like, oh, I guess we're done. I could have went for more, but we're done. You know, get shit, leave. And so yeah, I recommend it. But it was not as good as I had wanted it to be, if I'm being honest. And I think upon rewatches, where my expectations will be a little bit more like, kind of like in check, I'll enjoy the movie more. Last movie. Halloween Kills. So I'm the guy that made 2 videos talking about my feelings of Halloween 2018, And while I've rewatched the movie twice in the last month in preparation for Halloween Kills, showing it to various people, and also just watching a bunch of Michael Myers movies lately, Halloween 2018, my opinion has become more of that I think it's okay, but I have a lot of reasons I don't like it. And people that do really like this movie, I don't like those people. It's not that I don't like those people, I just think you're dumb. But Halloween Kills, I think, was a massive fucking step into the right direction. I know a lot of people, there's like a weird dissension going on with this movie. I watched it twice now to really kind of fucking, know what I thought of it. And while there's certainly some stuff I did not like, particularly the ending, weirdly edited, like, clusterfuck of an ending I've ever seen, like, in a long time. It was downright amateurish, and it clearly was not what the original ending was supposed to be. And we now know that there was an extended ending or whatever. But even then, it had this weird angle of, like, making Michael explicitly supernatural, when I thought, didn't you guys just go up and down the street telling me that in the last movie, Michael...
He's not a zombie. He's not invincible. He's just a guy. He's totally normal. He's just human. He can die. Because on the sequels where he couldn't, that was stupid. So our Michael's just a guy.
Oh, now he's invincible. He gets shot like 20 times. They fucking beat the holy monkey dog fuck out of him up and down the street. And he's like dead. They stab him in the fucking spine, and he just gets up and kills them all, and then teleports across 2 blocks to, like, kill this woman. Like, they're like making him explicitly supernatural. That's fine, because I grew up with Michael Myers being supernatural. I like him to be that way. But why is he now that when last time you told me that he was just a guy who, like, gets his fingers cut off and he's like, oh, that hurt. Like, but now he's the boogeyman. He's the shape again. Which is, like I said, that's how I want him to be. That's how my Michael Myers is. So I'm fine with that. I'm just confused as to what they're going for. I'm gonna wait till Halloween ends because there was a lot of things about Halloween 2018, fuck, I hate that fucking title, that I really didn't like that this movie then amended. Cameron? Halloween Kills fixed Cameron. I'm like, oh, that's what you were doing. Okay. Well, I would have liked more of Cameron, actually, because I ended up growing to really like that character in the way of, like, man, this guy's such a fucking asshole. Fuck him. And then you want him to die, and then you start rooting for him because you, like, ironic sense. You're like, you know what? He's my favorite character. And then you start unironically liking him. That's kind of where I was at with Cameron. I wanted more of him, though. Like, well, what the fuck? Michael's, like, not even chasing after Laurie. This movie addressed that. This movie made Dr. Zartane all of a sudden, in a way, sort of work. Like, I still fucking hate that character, and I stand by everything I've ever said about him. But this movie addressed the whole, like, if we remove all this other continuity, he would have no reason to go after Laurie. They're like, yeah, you're right, he wouldn't. I'm like, okay, then carry on, So I was like, okay, that's fine then. I don't need him to constantly be chasing after Laurie. I just wanted them to acknowledge that that's not what he's doing. If in the beginning of this movie he got out of that house and then he immediately did show up to, like, kill Laurie Strode, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you just got rid of this continuity and acted like you didn't need it. And then you put him right back where he was. Like, you just reset him. And just now he has literally no motive to go after Laurie Strode. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. What they're going for works for me. The one thing, though, that I really liked about the movie was the kills were cool. But I could have used more. All the fucking reviews for this movie where people talking like, it's so violent. It's by far and away the most brutal Halloween movie. It's just Michael's shockingly cruel. It's too violent. What the fuck ever, you fucking little limp-wristed dandy bitches. This movie is not in any way the most violent Halloween movie. Both Rob Zombie movies are still more violent than this movie. This is not the most violent slasher movie I've ever seen either. There really isn't a single scene where I was like,
oh god, I didn't think he would do that.
There was not a single scene. And also, a lot of the most cool shit they showed you in that first trailer. So that was kind of stupid. Weird fucking hysteria over the violence in this movie. I'm like, have we never seen a horror film? Is this baby's first horror film? That's what I said about that fucking Halloween 2018 movie. It was the most limp-wristed, soft, accessible little everyone can play movie. And then you make a sequel that behaves and walks and talks like an actual fucking Halloween movie for fucking grown-ups. And they're all like, oh, it's too violent. I don't like it. It's like, what the fuck? Grow the fuck up. Like, why? I don't know. I don't understand it at all, because this movie, like that firefighter scene, I was expecting based on the trailer, I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna fucking kill them all. They cut away way too soon. And you come back and he's like, you see everyone dead. That's no different than fucking Halloween 4 when he walks his ass through the whole police station. He killed every police officer in town in Halloween 4, but he did it off screen. This movie, he kills a bunch of people off screen and you find their bodies later. That don't make any sense to me. Like, why not just show him killing them? The time they devote to other things, like, while I didn't hate those things, and I thought the plot was more engaging than 2018's was, I literally would have gone for just a movie where it was like Michael just versus the world killing everybody. There was never a scene where Michael was overly violent or like was being extra more violent than he's been seen before. Spoilers. The whole video I've got back from being, I'm gonna spoil something. I'm not gonna spoil this. Spoilers for this movie. It's on Peacock. Why haven't you seen it yet? The fight scene at the end could have been so much better. I'm talking about the things I didn't like. I need to just summarize. I really enjoyed the movie. If you want to see my official Halloween ranking, it looks like this, okay? That's my ranking of all the Halloween movies. Halloween Kills, though, this fight scene at the end, when he gets that mask and they flick on those lights and the music starts picking up, I'm like, okay, here we go. This is the scene. This is the scene everyone was talking about, where he's gonna just fucking murder these people. He's going to take everyone in this fucking street's life without mercy. And I was just so ready for it. I'm like, here we go. Let's do this. He's got the knife. He's got the mask. All the people are there. They start swinging at him. He starts dodging. He's cutting motherfuckers. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. We're fighting. Then they get him down on the ground and they start beating him. And then they beat him some more. And they beat him some more. And then they shoot him a bunch of times. And then they beat him some more. And then he's fucking dead. What? I was really pissed off. Then he gets up. Like, he's fucking fine. He has like a second wind in him or something, and he starts killing everybody. But it's like in like slow motion with like piano music, and Laurie Strode's talking over it, and you only see him kill like 3 or 4 people of the crowd, and then they're just like, oh, he killed them all. And I'm like, there was like 30 people there. He killed all 30 of them? I want to see that happen. Had this scene been done where like we just convincingly show him take this whole fucking crowd of people. He killed every motherfucker there. Nobody could stop him. A bunch of fucking dandies who've never been in a fight, who think they're Billy Goat badass and pick up a weapon, like, we're gonna go fuck him up. And they go out there and they get fucking annihilated by Michael Myers. They get the full fucking wrath of the boogeyman. The fucking shape. They meet him face to face and they're like, oh shit, we were not ready. We completely underestimated this guy. You've got Tommy Doyle, who I loved how they made him like a dumb fuck. I loved that. If you're not gonna do Paul Rudd from Halloween 6 Tommy Doyle, who's awesome, you might as well just do a different thing. And they made him a dipshit, and I liked that. I know a lot of people like that motherfucker in real life, and I'm like, you moron. You complete moron. Like, they just ride the high of like one thing that happened to them when he did nothing. And he acts like, I'm a survivor of Michael Myers. And then he goes around and he buys into his own hype, like, I'm Tommy Doyle. I'm gonna face off against Michael. And then he gets there and he fucking dies. Yeah, that was cool. I liked that. Had they done it where like Tommy Doyle riles all these people up and they're like, yeah, fuck him, evil dies tonight or whatever, and they go down there and they start fighting him, and Michael starts picking them off, like he starts etching out a kill one by one, just convincingly, like they just can't fucking beat him. Maybe they beat him down, he gets back up, kills some more, and then they beat him down again, and he gets back up and he kills some more. Like, I'm talking like a 10-minute sequence. Put that John Carpenter music, Unkillable, that should have been the final fight music. Listen to it and imagine the final fight happening during that. That would have been fucking awesome. He goes through, he takes everybody out. And as you see, like, the look on people's faces when the fight starts, they're like, oh.
There's one of him and fucking 30 of us, and I've got a big fucking garden trowel. He's done. He's a pussy. I'm not even gonna have to get my fucking hands dirty. I can just say I was here.
Then as more people start dying, they're like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to fucking take a swing at this motherfucker. And as everybody's taking a swing at him, they're getting killed too. You're supposed to be scared. And you saw people just ditch their weapon and run. And Tommy Doyle, with that fucking baseball bat that he just stole, is looking around like, oh shit, everyone's abandoning me. Everyone's leaving. And he starts like, that fear of the boogeyman becomes real in him. When he's like, we're not going to succumb to fear earlier, comes back around. He starts succumbing to fear. He realizes that everyone's now ditched, that he's fucked, and he's now face to face with something that he fucking created, which is all these dead bodies and this motherfucker who's gonna kill him. Tommy starts taking swings at him. He's crying. He's like, oh fuck, please fucking get the fuck away from me. And he's shitting himself. And Michael's just emotionless, you know, obviously. And he's just like, I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna die. And he fucking stabs him in like the armpit. He falls, picks up that baseball bat, and then we see him fucking whack multiple fucking times. Brains Tommy Doyle. Tommy Doyle's fucking dead. He drops the bat. We pan out. Bodies. Fucking piles of dead bodies. Michael just killed everybody. That would have been way fucking cooler than what they did. Which what they did was like a minute-long sequence where they all beat the shit out of him, and then he gets up and stabs like 4 or 5 people, and you just assume he killed everybody off screen. Then he fucking teleports, literally teleports, into a house after she saw a ghost or something. A ghost that she would have... And you cannot say that it was a vision from a newspaper or something. She never saw that. That was from 1960 whatever. She was not alive. She might have seen a newspaper clipping, but that doesn't explain why she'd have a vision. It's a ghost or something. Or did Michael actually die on the street and then become a ghost? Is it the ghost of Michael Myers in Halloween Ends? I don't know. I want fucking answers, goddammit. And if I go see Halloween Ends and they just pretend, or this was all a dream, or whatever the fuck, I'm gonna kill somebody. I'll become Michael Myers. And you all will swarm me with your cars and your weapons. And I will convincingly kill all of you with cool fucking music playing in the background. That's what I'm gonna fucking do. I hope you enjoyed the Halloween special of Dante's Drive-In. That was completely incoherent, and I'm so sorry, but that's what you come to me for, okay? You come to me for incoherent, fanboy rambling movie reviews about horror films. That's why we're all here, okay? That's why we're all here. Let's just admit to it. That's what we're here for. Let me know what you thought of all these movies in the comments. Let me argue with you in the comments. Or just, you know, if you don't want me to argue, say your fucking stupid-ass opinion. Let me read it, but just comment. Please don't argue with me on this. Like just pin the comment like, you can respond to this, or like, you can't respond to this one. Just say that. Like, you're not allowed to respond to it. And I'll be like, shit, there's a magic force field on that comment. I'm not allowed to respond to it. You have my word. I will not reply to that comment, no matter how fucking stupid it is. I will not reply to it. I'm trying to do like a pinky promise, but I just end up crossing my fingers. Not crossing my fingers. If you do that, I won't respond to it. Thank you for watching this episode of Dante's Drive-In. The Dante Graves Show Halloween special is done and it's coming soon. I kind of breaking the fourth wall here because I'm supposed to be Dante Graves, and I'm telling you about a special that canonically does not take place yet. It's going to be done soon, though. It's coming out October 29th. Be there or be square. And there'll be another drive-in at some point. I just don't know. I wanted to do one of these every month, but sometimes I just don't see things I want to talk about within that month. But I promise you that Dante's Drive-In is not canceled. It will always be here. Long live the drive-in, as Joe Bob Briggs would say. Thank you guys, and have a happy Halloween. Okay, we're done here.